Shirley Nightingale, why are you running for governor?
I actually was drafted to run for governor. It was definitely not my idea. And I decided to run when I realized we needed more choice than what was being presented. Many of us are frustrated. We feel like our elected officials are not listening to us. And I didn't want to just sit in front of the television set angry anymore. Somebody gave me an opportunity to step up to the plate, and I decided to do it.
You say you were drafted. How?
I received a phone call from leaders of the Constitution Party saying, we have been following you in politics for a while, and you are our selection to run for governor in the state of California.
Can you give us a little background on the Constitution Party?
The Constitution Party was actually it was originally called the U.S. Taxpayers Party, and Howard Phillips, who's a big-time Republican, worked with Nixon and Reagan. He established the party, and then I believe the Shearers turned it into the Constitution Party, renamed it, and it's been around since the 90s, so it's a relatively new party. However, it's the third largest party in the United States now with all of its different affiliates nationwide, and it's the fastest growing party. And today they had very exciting news. Tom Tancredo, who was a former 2008 presidential candidate on the Republican ticket, he was a congressman from Colorado for many years. He actually has endorsed our campaign months and months ago, but today he just switched over to the Constitution Party and will be running for governor in the state of Colorado.
So define for us the focus, primary focus of the Constitution Party, which I imagine is also your focus.
Yeah, absolutely. Liberty, limited government, freedom, sovereignty, security, everything our founding fathers established is the Constitution Party ideals.
Now, I imagine some Republicans and Democrats would say those are the same ideals. How do you differentiate?
Well, the two main parties have been overtaken with special interest, and the Constitution Party doesn't accept special interest money. It's all about we the people. That's the difference.
How did they find you as a candidate? You say they drafted you. How did they find you?
Absolutely. I'd been Border Patrol agents Ramos and Campion. I felt what happened to them was just unjust, and I wanted to do whatever I could as an ordinary individual to help them. So I became very involved. I lobbied in Washington, D.C. and Sacramento, and I actually organized a march in Hollywood, which America's Most Wanted aired for us. And they just watched my rise in that and said, you've done some amazing work. And of course, Ramos and Campion, it's not just me. There was a group of us that helped, but Ramos and Campion, thankfully, are free today. And I had other accomplishments, like, Jamil Shah, and so they just decided that now was the time.
You had put yourself out there in those
I'd
areas.
put myself out there as an ordinary citizen, just one person. This is what I would like to say to those watching when they are so frustrated and they say, I feel helpless, I don't know what to do. One individual can make a difference. Your voice makes a difference. Ordinary citizens united, we can change the direction of our country back to our constitutional republic.
The power of one.
The power of one.
Of course, it is an uphill battle. You go
Yes, it
against
is.
the well-entrenched Republican and Democrat parties,
Yes.
against the name recognition of Meg Whitman and
Yes.
Jerry Brown, not to mention their huge campaign coffers.
Yes, absolutely. But here's something really amazing. And as a matter of fact, today we are having a money bomb on our site.
What's that?
NightingaleForGovernor.com. What the money bomb is our operations director, James Sugra. He had an idea, this was back in 2008, for what was considered the third-party presidential candidate, Dr. Ron Paul, who was congressman from Texas. And he just decided to use his skills of editing and video and put online on YouTube, free media, didn't cost him a dime, and raised $4.3 million for Ron Paul. It was historic one day. It hasn't happened for any candidate. So he came aboard and said, we're going to do the same thing here. And again, people, no special interest money, just people determined.
Citizen donations.
Citizen donations.
When is this money bomb going to take place?
Well, it's taking place today. But don't worry, if you're watching this and it's the next day, it doesn't matter, because you can still contribute, and those funds will be used for grassroots efforts. As a matter of fact, and it's only going to cost us $500, big, huge billboard, posters from Hollywood movies. We just had 1,000 donated to us, and we have this is just grassroots people coming together, painting them, and we're going to put them up inside down buildings all across the state of California.
So you're saying your campaign donations, not from lobbyists?
No.
Corporations, mainly the citizens, the voters, the people who are going to be casting those votes.
The people that count.
The way it was meant to be.
The way that it was meant to be, yes.
All right. If you were successful day one on the job, what would be your top priority here in California?
The top priority for me, would be to take, when we have our California state military that nobody ever talks about, I would place them on our border for
Tell
security.
us a little bit more about that. What do you mean our California State Military?
We have a military, which I didn't even know about myself until a supporter of our campaign sent me information. And we're the only state in the union with our own military. I don't know who's in the military. I'm obviously not overseeing it right now, but it is the governor's responsibility to oversee that California State Military. No other state can use it. Apparently, some of the presidents have contacted various governors in the past, and they can't. It's just for this state jurisdiction, and I would place them on the border. And also, we need to stop the bleeding of our economy in the state. So those would be my priorities. We would do an extensive edit to see what wasteful spending our government has been doing to us. I mean, this is the 7th largest economy in the world. There is money, and we just need to get back to constitutional principles and sound money solutions, and we the people working together to get our state back on track.
Now, it's a big topic, and I know there's a lot there, but
yes.
When you talk about trying to stop the spending and what you do you
yes.
have some specifics?
Well, one of the things that we need to do, absolutely, our legislature needs to go part-time. That will discourage special interest groups. That will help, and also wrangling down just the public employee unions that seem to have far too much power in our politics, and we can do that by refunding the way they receive money. So that's one of the big things that we can do. And also lowering our taxes and our regulations to bring back business to our state and be there for our farmers. We visited so many dairy farmers yesterday. I want to thank them for their hospitality. We need to help our farmers and our small business, and for the middle class business getting back on their feet.
Who is your political inspiration? Do you have one?
I have a few. I like Dr. Ron Paul, Chuck Baldwin, and Michelle Bachmann.
What's your proudest accomplishment, personally?
Personally, Ramos and Campion for me. I got to know Joe Loya. I spoke at an event for them before they went to prison, and you know, when I found out they were going to prison, I just got on my car and I drove to El Paso. It was last minute to watch them go in, and I felt that that was just a grave injustice, and just seeing them free. And it wasn't just me, it was a collective effort. We the people united, and we were able to free them, and for me that will always be my proudest accomplishment.
All right, so what personal strengths do you feel that voters should know that you bring to this office?
Well, I will have to say my love for this country, my passion for this country. I'm a very determined individual. I've always set goals and I've always achieved them. And I really do care about people. That is something that all my supporters can confirm. I really do care, and I really do want to make a difference. And I'm not going to go in there with some special interest in mind. It will be about the Constitution and saving. I'm a mother. And I'm a homeschooling mother. And as such, I want to make sure that I pave a better future for my child.
Is there any one experience in your life that has had the most profound effect in shaping your outlook and shaping the fact that you're running now?
My parents. My father was a military man in the Air Force and very patriotic. My mother's family were legal immigrants. And I know my family, they said, you will love this country. You do not know what we endured. When we came to this country, we kissed the ground that we were walking on. And just the patriotism and love for the freedom, I was told to never take liberty for granted. My father was very much into our Second Amendment rights, and he paved the way that I think, and really, my parents are the inspiration.
Your parents are foreign born?
My mother's family, yes, not my father. My father's from here. You know, he's part Native American Indian. So, but he was a military man, and so it was quite an inspiration for me.
Well, you don't have any free time since you're a candidate, but
Yes.
if you did, what's your favorite pastime away from work and campaigns and so on?
Being a mother. You know, there's nothing more important to me than being with my child. I also have a stepdaughter who lives back here in the Central Valley. They are the most important people to me, and that's my free time. And you're right, I don't have very much time these days. We are working around the clock. There's some nights, our team, we don't sleep, sometimes very little, because we're very determined to help save our state.
Some quick hits questions and answers now. Just give
Yes.
me your response. Tea Party.